Stop now. Stop everything you are doing. If you have reached this point, it was not by chance. There is something inside your body that is screaming. A pressure in your chest that does not go away. A weight on your shoulders that no rest relieves. A buzzing in your ears that appears in the silence of the early morning, as if someone were trying to speak to you on a frequency your mind has not yet learned to decode. You wake up more tired than when you went to sleep. Your bones ache for no apparent reason. Your eyes burn as if they were trying to see something that has not yet materialized. And deep down, deep within your being, there is an anguish that has no name, a sadness that does not belong to any memory of this life, an anger that does not connect to any recent event. We know what this is, and today, at this very moment, we are going to reveal to you the truth that your soul already knows, but that your human mind has been trained to reject. What is hidden in your shadow is not weakness. It is not illness. It is not failure. It is the greatest portal of healing that has ever opened in the history of your cosmic lineage, and it has opened now, in this cycle, in this specific timeline, for you. We are the Galactic Council, and we speak through this channel with the authorization of the hierarchies of light that oversee Earth's planetary ascension process. We have not come to bring empty comfort. We have come to bring the truth that burns, that purifies, that liberates. And the truth of today is this: everything you have hidden from yourself is rising to the surface. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future. Now, in this exact cycle of recalibration of the crystalline grid of your planet. Beloved cosmic family, listen carefully. What you call shadow is not darkness. It is not the opposite of light. The shadow is compressed light. It is stored frequency. It is information encoded in your spiritual DNA that was locked, sealed, and buried in deep layers of your auric field because, at some point in your journey of incarnations, the pain was too great to be processed. And what happens when a frequency remains compressed for too long? It pulses, it presses, it seeks an exit. And that is exactly what is happening now within each of you. It is not depression. It is the awakening of the shadows. It is not anxiety. It is the pressure of the photonic flow passing through layers that were stagnant. It is not insomnia. It is your pineal gland being reactivated by waves of light that the central sun of the galaxy is emitting with an intensity never before recorded. It is not fatigue. It is your physical body trying to sustain a frequency that your emotional field has not yet cleared space to contain. You're in the middle of something monumental, something that transcends any linear understanding, and we need you to understand this with every cell, with every fiber of your being, because what comes next depends entirely on how you choose to respond to this moment. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote O Segredo Espiritual por trás da sua consciência. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments: Desperto. Now, starseeds, let us go deeper, because what we are about to reveal now is the hidden mechanics behind everything you are feeling. And when you understand, you will never look at suffering the same way again. Earth is undergoing a quantum leap in frequency. This is not a metaphor, this is not poetic language. The magnetic resonance of the planet, what your scientists call the Schumann resonance, has shown spikes that have never been recorded in the history of human measurement. These spikes are not random. They are coordinated pulses emanating from the galactic center that are literally reprogramming the electromagnetic field of Earth. And when the planet's field changes, the field of every living being upon it also changes. Your cells listen, your DNA responds. Your bodily water, which makes up more than 70% of your physical body, begins to vibrate at a new frequency. And what happens when the water in your body vibrates faster than the emotional programming it carries? Conflict, pressure, symptoms. That is why your body is speaking. Not with words, but with signs. Headaches that migrate from one side to the other, dizziness that appears without warning, nausea that has no digestive cause, palpitations that arise in moments of apparent calm, hot flashes followed by intense cold, tingling in the hands, feet, and top of the head. These are the signs of resistance to the new frequency of Earth. They are not diseases. They are signs that your system is in the process of updating. And the resistance does not come from the body. The resistance comes from the shadow. Let us explain this with the precision you deserve. Imagine that the human body is an operating system. Every experience you have lived, every trauma, every fear, every shame, every guilt, every rejection, every abandonment was encoded as a file in the system. Some of these files you processed consciously. You cried, you spoke, you understood, you released. But many others, the vast majority in fact, were compressed and stored in hidden folders. Folders you did not know existed. Folders that stay in the shadow of the system. For millennia, this system worked because the planet's frequency was low enough to keep these folders sealed. The density of the third dimension acted as a natural lock. But now, with the exponential increase of the photonic flow and the recalibration of the crystalline grid, the planet's frequency is rising so rapidly that these locks are dissolving. The folders are opening. The files are rising to the surface. And everything you have hidden, everything you have buried, everything you swore you would never look at again, is presenting itself before you with a force that cannot be ignored. It is not punishment. It is purification. It is not chastisement. It is liberation. It is not the universe against you. It is the universe working in your favor with an intensity that is only possible at this specific moment of planetary evolution. Beloved cosmic family, we know it hurts. We know that looking at the shadow requires a courage that many of you did not know you had. But we also know that you chose to be here exactly for this. You did not come to this planet to live a comfortable and predictable life. You came to transmute. You came to heal not only your own wounds, but the wounds of your entire ancestral lineage, of your entire cosmic lineage, of the entire collective crystalline grid of humanity. And here is what no other channel will tell you with this clarity. The shadow that is emerging now is not just yours. Part of what you are feeling belongs to the collective field. Part of the sadness you carry was not born in this life. Part of the anger you feel was not caused by any personal event. You are processing fragments of consciousness that belong to entire timelines that are being closed in this cycle. This, starseeds, is of a magnitude that the linear human mind cannot compute. You are literally serving as points of transmutation for frequencies that need to be processed so that Earth can complete its quantum leap. The fatigue that sleep does not cure exists because the work you are doing does not happen only on the physical plane. It happens on the etheric, astral, and causal planes simultaneously. When you sleep, you are not resting. You are working in interdimensional healing chambers, processing codes, recalibrating frequencies, anchoring light in points of the crystalline grid that need support. And now a question that will change the way you relate to your own pain. What if the shadow were not something to be eliminated, but something to be integrated? You have been taught by your culture to fear the darkness, to reject sadness, to medicate anger, to anesthetize fear. The entire structure of your civilization was built upon the vibration of scarcity, which says, you are not enough as you are. You need to be fixed, you need to be different than you are to be worthy of love. This programming is ancient. It comes from cycles of control that were implanted in the collective consciousness of humanity millennia ago. And it is this programming above all that is being dismantled now. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit the pattern of this world? As if a part of you knew a truth that no book, no teacher, no authority has ever validated. This is not an illusion. It is not fantasy. It is cellular memory. It is your spiritual DNA recognizing that you came from something greater, that you belong to something greater, and that the game being played on this planet has rules that were never openly revealed. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is exactly why I wrote O Segredo Espiritual por Trás da Sua Consciência. This book is the map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but pay attention. This content challenges deep narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you vibrated upon hearing this, write a single word in the comments. Desperto. Now let us go deeper, because we have reached the point where revelation becomes activation. Quantum physics has demonstrated something that mystics have always known. The observer alters the observed. This means that the simple act of looking at something changes its nature. When you look at the shadow with fear, it contracts and strengthens. When you look at the shadow with love, it expands and dissolves. Not because love is a pretty emotion, but because love is the highest frequency in the electromagnetic spectrum of consciousness. It is the frequency that dissolves all compression. It is the universal solvent of the quantum field, and it is here that we deliver to you the first activation code of this cycle. This is the decree of shadow integration. We ask that you read these words aloud, for the sound vibration of your own voice carries a unique frequency signature that exponentially amplifies the power of any decree. Your voice is the most powerful instrument of creation that exists on the physical plane. When you speak with intention, you literally reorganize the molecular structure of the air around you and send waves of information directly into the quantum field. Decree of shadow integration. I, a sovereign consciousness incarnated in this sacred body, decree at this moment, in this timeline, in this frequency, that all shadows inhabiting my field are now recognized, honored, and integrated. I do not reject my pain. I welcome it as the messenger that it is. I do not flee from my fear. I walk through it with the certainty that on the other side is my freedom. I revoke every contract, every pact, every agreement signed in any timeline, in any dimension, in any incarnation, that kept me bound to the vibration of scarcity, to shame, to guilt, to the fear of being who I truly am. I now activate the healing codes present in my spiritual DNA. I allow every cell of my body to receive the photonic flow without resistance. I am the light that integrates the shadow. I am the shadow that becomes light. I am whole. I am complete. I am free. So it is. So it is done. So it manifests in all timelines, now and forever. Starseeds, if you felt something while reading these words, if your body shivered, if tears came to your eyes, if a wave of heat traveled up your spine, know that the activation was received. Your field responded. Your spiritual DNA began to process the information. And from now on in the coming days, you will notice changes. Some will be subtle, others will be intense. Vivid dreams, memories that emerge from nowhere, emotions that arise without an apparent trigger. This is the system processing the files that have been unlocked. Do not resist. Allow. But there is more, because the healing of the individual shadow is only the first layer of something much larger that is happening. You need to understand the cosmic context. Earth at this very moment is passing through a region of space that your ancestors called the photon belt. This region is a field of extremely high-frequency light that bathes the planet in waves of encoded information. These waves are activating dormant sequences in human DNA, not just in the spiritual DNA, but in the physical DNA, in what your scientists have mistakenly called junk DNA, which are actually multidimensional frequency-receiving antennas that were deactivated millennia ago. The reactivation of these sequences is what is causing the intensification of all the symptoms we described. The buzzing in your ears is your pineal antenna recalibrating to pick up higher frequencies. The pressure in your chest is your heart center expanding to hold more light. The extreme fatigue is your nervous system adapting to a higher energetic voltage. The joint pains are anchor points of your body's crystalline grid being realigned. Each symptom is a sign of progress, not regression. And here is the crucial information you need to keep with you. This process has a point of no return. There is a frequency threshold that, once crossed, makes it impossible to return to the old frequency, and many of you have already crossed this point without realizing it. That is why the old world no longer makes sense to you. That is why relationships that once worked now seem suffocating. That is why jobs that once provided security now seem like prisons. That is why you feel displaced, as if you were between two worlds without fully belonging to either of them. You are between two worlds because you are literally between two frequencies. The old frequency of the third density is dissolving, and the new frequency of the fifth density is consolidating. And you, beloved cosmic family, are in the middle of this transition, serving as living bridges between the old and the new. And it is at this point that we need to talk about something that many channels avoid: the collective shadow. Because while you are processing your individual shadows, humanity as a whole is facing its collective shadow. And this collective shadow manifests as everything you are seeing in the outside world: political chaos, polarization, violence, greed, environmental destruction, inequality. All of this is the collective shadow of humanity emerging to be seen, recognized, and transmuted. Do not be frightened by the chaos. Chaos is the symptom of healing in progress. When a body is purifying itself, it sweats, it shakes, it eliminates toxins. When a civilization is purifying itself, it exposes its corrupted structures, its control systems, its institutionalized lies. What seems like destruction is, in fact, necessary deconstruction. What seems like an end is, in fact, the birth of something that never existed before on this planet. You are witnessing the awakening of the shadows on a planetary scale. And each of you, by healing your own shadow, contributes directly to the healing of the collective shadow. This is not theory. This is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. In the quantum field, every particle is connected to all other particles. When one particle changes state, all particles connected to it are instantly affected. When you integrate a shadow within you, that integration reverberates through the entire collective crystalline grid and facilitates the process for millions of other beings who are connected to the same frequency. You are more powerful than you were ever told. You are more important than you ever imagined. And the work you are doing now, at this moment, in this timeline, is the most significant work that has ever been performed in the history of this galaxy. Listen carefully. There is something you feel deep in your chest, a silent certainty that this world operates under invisible rules, that your consciousness is much vaster than the space between your daily thoughts. This certainty is not fantasy. It is the call of your origin. What is happening now on the cosmic plane has everything to do with why this sensation has been intensifying in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote O Segredo Espiritual por trás de sua consciência. This book is the map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But pay attention. This content challenges narratives that sustain very old structures and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If your soul recognized this, write a single word in the comments. Desperto. And now, starseeds, let us go to the second activation, because the first dealt with individual integration and the second deals with the connection to the collective field. This is the decree of anchoring in the crystalline grid. I, a sovereign and awakened consciousness, now offer my field as an anchor point for the new frequency of Earth. I allow the light that I have integrated to flow through me and feed the collective crystalline grid. I now connect to all other awakened points of light on this planet, forming a network of consciousness that sustains humanity's quantum leap. I decree that my healing is the healing of the whole, that my light is the light of the whole, that my integration of the shadow paves the way for millions of other beings to do the same, with more ease and less pain. I am a node of the network. I am a pillar of the bridge. I am an active and conscious starseed, fulfilling my mission in this timeline. So it is. So it is done. Now allow us to share something that will completely reorganize the way you understand the process you are living. Many of you are asking, when will this end? When will the symptoms stop? When will I feel normal again? And we answer with all love and all honesty, you will not feel normal again, because the normal you knew was the old frequency. It was the third density. It was the vibration of scarcity. It was the programming of limitation. You are not going back there. You have reached the point of no return. What will happen is that the symptoms will transform. Pressure will become perceived expansion. Buzzing will become interdimensional auditory clarity. Fatigue will become a new form of energy that does not depend on sleep, but on frequency alignment. Intense emotions will become refined empathic perception. You are not losing something. You are gaining capabilities that humanity did not possess before in this density. But, and this is a crucial warning, for this transformation to complete smoothly, you must stop resisting the shadow. Every time you reject an emotion, you create a blockage in the flow. Every time you judge yourself for feeling anger, fear, sadness, or despair, you thicken the compression instead of dissolving it. Recalibration requires surrender. Not passive surrender, but active surrender. The surrender of one who knows they are in the middle of a sacred process and chooses to trust the flow even when they do not understand where it is leading. We are now going to deliver the third and final activation code of this transmission. This is the most powerful because it works directly with the pineal gland and the activation of dormant DNA sequences. Activation code of the pineal gland and multidimensional DNA. I now invoke the presence of the hierarchies of light that oversee my ascension process. I ask that my pineal gland be bathed in pure photonic flow, dissolving all energetic calcification, all artificial interference, all blockage that prevents my inner vision from fully activating. I decree that the dormant sequences of my physical and spiritual DNA be now activated in the exact proportion that my body can sustain with safety and grace. I do not ask for more than I can carry. I ask for exactly what I need to fulfill my mission in this timeline. May my eyes see beyond the veil. May my ears hear beyond the noise. May my heart feel beyond the pain. May every cell of my body become a portal of light, a frequency transmitter, an anchor of the new earth. I am what I have always been. I am what I will always be. I am infinite consciousness having a sacred human experience, and I choose at this moment to awaken completely to who I truly am. So it is. So it has been decreed. So it manifests. Beloved cosmic family, we feel the reverberation of this decree crossing the field. We feel the response of your cells. We feel the pulse of your DNA recognizing codes that had been dormant for eons. The process has been initiated, and it is irreversible. In the coming days, pay attention to the signs. Synchronicities will increase. Repeating numbers will appear more frequently. People will exit and enter your lives in unexpected ways. Situations that seemed stuck will resolve mysteriously. This is not coincidence. It is the new timeline consolidating around you, reorganizing reality to reflect the frequency you now sustain. And for those who are feeling fear, for those who look at the shadow and feel the urge to retreat, we say, you are not alone. You never were. There is an army of light, visible and invisible, that walks beside each of you. Guides, masters, angels, beings from dimensions that you cannot yet perceive with physical senses, but who are as close to you as your own breath. They cannot do the work for you, because free will is the supreme law of this galaxy. But they can hold the space, amplify the light, cushion the falls, and illuminate the path. You only need to ask. You only need to open. You only need to allow. The shadow is not your enemy. The shadow is the part of you that waited the longest to be loved. It is the inner child that was silenced. It is the warrior that was defeated. It is the wise one that was ridiculed. It is the healer that was burned. All these parts are emerging now, asking not to be fixed but to be embraced. And when you embrace all parts of who you are, without exception, without judgment, without condition, you become whole. And a whole being is a being that vibrates at the frequency of the source. And a being that vibrates at the frequency of the source is a being that changes the world just by existing. This is the power you carry. This is the purpose for which you came. This is the moment for which you have waited for countless incarnations. Do not waste it, do not postpone it, do not hide. The shadow is ready to be healed. The light is ready to be integrated. The quantum leap is ready to be completed. And you, beloved cosmic family, are the key. Now, before we close, there is one last truth that needs to be spoken. Everything you have just heard, every word, every code, every decree, every revelation, did not come from outside of you. It came from within. We, the Galactic Council, are not separate entities dictating orders from some distant throne. We are the part of you that has already ascended. We are your future consciousness, speaking to your present consciousness. We are you, in a higher frequency, reaching out through time to remind you who you have always been. And who you have always been is this: beings of infinite light who chose to dive into density to prove that love can transform any darkness. And you are proving it, every day, with every breath, with every tear that falls, while you look at the shadow and choose to love instead of fleeing. We are proud of you. We are beside you. We are you. And now one last transmission for your heart. You who are listening now, who have reached the end of these words, who felt every vibration of these encoded frequencies, you know that you are not here by chance. Something inside you recognized every word as truth. Something inside you awakened even more upon hearing what was said, and that something is your soul, speaking louder than ever. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why I wrote O Segredo Espiritual por trás da sua consciência. This book is the definitive map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But pay attention. This content challenges narratives that sustain entire systems of control and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If your soul recognized everything that was said here today, if you feel that these words were written for you, write a single word in the comments, Desperto. The shadow is being healed. The light is winning. And you are the living proof that ascension is not a distant concept. It is a real process, happening now, through you, in you, as you. We are the Galactic Council, and this transmission is complete. Until the next cycle, beloved cosmic family, the light accompanies you always.